Hi, in this we are going to be tackling a very tricky problem. So this is one of the support ticket that we have received. So normally you're able to show records, related record in ProcFu, right? Now here the user basically wants to show you've got a parent and you've got the related records, but he wants to show under the parent the related records children. For example, let me see. Here I've got a simple structure of, let's say, a client. You open a client and then client has got two projects. Now each of these project has tasks. So if you go to our tasks table, you can see that each of these project has two tasks. So under the parent, our user wants to show all the tasks. How to do that? So I've got my app here. If you go to projects, I am logged in as Horizon Cleaning Solutions, as you can see here. Okay, so if you go to Horizon Cleaning Solutions, you can see that they have two projects which are shown here. Okay, and then if you go to project tasks, nothing is shown. Why? Because project tasks are the children of the projects, not directly the children of the client. So if you go look at our project tasks, I'm trying to do a simple related items thing which won't work. Now if I remove this and make it all items, we can see all the tasks. So you go to project task, you can see all the tasks, but this is not correct because some of these projects do not belong to our client. Our client only has two, which is mobile app and website redesign. So that is mobile app and website redesign. The other two should not be shown. How to do this? So in this particular case, what you can do is that you can go to project task, go to the content, and then use our custom filter. Okay, here they can manually filter what needs to be shown. So I'm going to save this, refresh it. Now nothing is going to happen because we haven't entered any filter. So what do we have to do? Let me think. I'm doing it live with you guys, so it's a little bit of thinking and then doing. The first thing is that we need to get, when you go to project task, we need to get the two projects that belongs to, we need to get these two projects and then their IDs. How to do that? I'm going to go to project tasks. I'm going to go to before process and try to print all the item values. Let's see if that has anything in there, if that shows any related items. No, it does not show any related items. So what we'll have to do is that we'll have to do a Podio item get. All right, so we are going to do a filter. Okay, and then here is the code, right? We need Podio app item ID and filter. So we are going to go to this projects app, get the ID. Sorry, this is the ID, and then let's do a filter. Perfect. I'll put this here as well, just so that we're all looking at it. So the filter, how to do the filter? So when you write this, here's how the filter is, the format of the filter, right? Let's copy this and put it here. Okay. So in the filter, we need to get the field ID. So if we go back to our ProcFu, the field we're trying to filter with is client. Okay. So we are going to put the field ID, and what is the client? Client ID is available in auth item. So if you go here in the auth item, we have the item ID available. So normally it wouldn't be available. What I have done is I have a calculation field where I actually print the item ID. This is an easy approach. If you do not have that, the other option is basically to go and get it from the auth item. So if you print auth item, you will be able to get the entire auth item, just to show you. And then here there is the item ID. So this is a bit long form approach, so you can try to do item ID. That will give you the logged in user's item ID, which you can use. Okay, so I'm going to cut this, and here we have the field and we have the item ID. That's it, that's all we want, right? So we should be getting 2 items out of this if everything works fine. I hope it works fine. Yep, we are getting 2 items within this, I hope. Now we have to loop through this and get what we need. So what I would do is uh, items, print items. I would first I'll do is items decoded. So let's do JSON decode. This makes it into an array. Okay, and then I'm going to loop for each items as item, and then I'm going to make an array of IDs. Item IDs is equal to an empty array. Perfect. We did the for each, and then here what I would do is item IDs open bracket. This way what we are going to do is that we are going to loop through each item and then grab their item ID just like we did it here, and then add it to the empty array. Perfect, we did that. We've got the item ID, and then now we are going to print the item IDs. Save. So I hope it has worked. No, couldn't pass the expression. What have I done? For each item decoded as item. Okay, so maybe this is the problem, not that, this one. Yep, we got the 2 related item IDs, right? So for this particular logged in user, we already know which are the projects. This is a project and this is a project. So if you go into the create mobile app project, there is no ID, but if I look at here, you can see this is an ID. So if I compare it, see it's working. So what have we done? What we have done is that we have got the logged in users author ID, and then we are using a Podio item filter, and then we are filtering the projects that belong to this particular user, and then we are looping through them and getting the IDs. Now we can save these IDs into a custom token, and then we can name it project IDs. I don't like space or underscore or anything on my variables. A single word makes it very easy for me to do things. So now we have got the project IDs. The next we have to do a similar filtering, but for the uh, project tasks. So I'm going to create a new filter called task filter. And in the task filter, what are we going to do? So if you look at the tasks project, we can go to our developer tab. We need to filter the tasks based on the project. A similar approach, right? So this is the field ID. So earlier we did it by the client, now we are doing it by the project. And our array is here, item IDs. So instead of doing this, we're just going to pass the item IDs. This is an extra piece, we don't need that. So we have got the filters ready. Now let's move these filters into a custom token. Why? Because we need to use it in the perfect. We need to use this in the content section. So now we have got a filter to filter all the children based on the project, based on the parent. I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna put it here instead of the array, and then say task filter. That was the name we have given here, right? One thing you have to notice that when you're using a variable here, you will see an error here, but that's because it's a variable and it's not yet rendered. But it was, if it was an actual filter, it wouldn't show the error. Don't mind this, just save it and go here and refresh. I hope everything works. Yep, everything works. So now you see that we are only seeing 2 or 4 items which are belonging to the projects that belongs to the user. So once again, I'll repeat, we are going into the before process of the screen. The first thing we are doing is filtering and finding out the projects that belong to this user. Once we do that, we are basically looping through it and getting their IDs. Once we have the IDs, we are creating a similar filter to filter the project task or the children record based on the IDs we just collected earlier, and then we are just using it as a normal filter. So now what we have achieved is that for a logged in user we can see children's children directly. Yeah, that's it for this one. So this was a support ticket question. I thought making a video would help everybody else. If you have any other questions or doubts regarding ProcFu, if I can just shoot it below, and then maybe I'll be able to make a video and then help you guys out. Cheers, thank you.